Hey, Marty here from freshOps. So today I wanted to take you through how to quickly generate some essential worker letterheads for your cleaners. Now, I had a client recently who mentioned that one of their cleaners got pulled over by some authorities as they were moving around through the lockdown, and they wanted to provide proof. Now, that particular client didn't have the little ID badges or anything like that, and the cleaner didn't really have anything to provide proof that he was an actual essential worker. So the client wanted to create a letterhead, which I said, oh yeah, well, that's pretty straightforward. But then he said, well, you know, we've got to provide all like things like ID and date of birth and that's gonna, it can't be just a generic letter. It's got to be personalized to that person. And so I had to think about it. And look, normally we would use potentially here with freshOps, we use a tool called Form Stack, and it kind of can do that out of the box. They've got a number of products there that have forms and documents, and but it is a paid service, and you know, could be potentially expensive if you're just doing this as a once-off. But I thought about it for a moment, and I've done something similar in the past with the Google Suite. And so what I've actually done here is I've created a Google form, which you can access with a Gmail account. And I've just created a Google form, the essential worker form, put the month, today's date, first name, last name, date of birth, a field there for a driver's license, some options there for their employment status and their email address, which is important to include on there. And so what we can do is we can, ideally, when we're all done with this setup, we want to send this form out to all our employees. So we can send them a link, so we can either text it to them or put it in our internal chat tool or email it all to them. And then they're going to fill out that form. And ideally, by the end of this, they will automatically get emailed your letterhead with their details specifically listed in their email. So let's go and see how that's done. So we want to hit view responses in Sheets when we've created this form first of all, and that will create a spreadsheet very similar to this one here. Now, the other thing that we want to then do is open up a Google Doc and create a document pretty similar to this. So you might put in the header your company logo or something along those lines, but in this case, we'll just put something along this to whom it concerned as the COVID-19 restrictions, blah, blah, blah. And I'll put a link to this document. But more importantly, you want to put your company name and your details in the blue. But then we want to create merge fields for the employees' details or the contractors or whoever needs this information. And so here I've put one for today's date. I've just created here first name, last name, date of birth, license number and employment status, and that is simply by just hitting in and hitting today. Okay, that's in a Google Docs. That's what they consider a merge field. So once you've kind of created this and it's all pretty and you're happy with it and you've saved it, then it's just a case of coming back into the spreadsheet and coming and looking for get add-ons. And what I want you to search for, if this is something of interest, is a add-on called Autocrat. And if I do a search here, here's Autocrat, and you might have to install that. If you're on Google Workspace, you can install it just on your account or across your whole domain. If you're on G Suite, it will just be a case of using it just for yourself. I've already installed it, so it appears down here as Autocrat, and I've already hit launch, and you can see it on the right hand side here. And so what I want to do is go a new merge job. So once that fires up, that's going to fire up another screen for me. Come on, come on, come on. And we then want to go and find our essential worker letter template here. So I hit the word drive, and I'm going to type in essential worker and just hit search. And here's my template there. So I want to select that template. That's loading, and I'm just going to name it again, essential worker. That's just the job that it's doing. Okay, and then I just need to connect these things up. So I've got today, and this is then looking back at this sheet. So today's date is going to be today's date. The first name is the first name. The last name is the last name. The date of birth is their date of birth. License number is, that's what I called it there. And the employment status is the employment status. Okay, and then we hit save. All right, so now what we need to do is just save it somewhere. Okay, so we want to save it as a PDF to start with, but we want to name it in some kind of shape or form. So here we can just copy this. It's going to be the first name, maybe the last name of the employee, and this is the document name that it's going to create. So we might call this essential worker letter. So when we create this, it's going to create a file name which is Martin Callan, the essential worker letter, so that we can see one from the other. Okay. Now you've got then an option to say email and or share the merged documents. And so if we actually email, we want to email to the address. Now, which address do we want to email it to? We've got the employees on the form will have populated their address. So we copy that and we paste it in there. So it's going to send that, and we put a subject line around it, which is going to be probably the same thing. We might put the first name and put their last name. And this is going to be your essential worker letter. Okay, so we put that in there, and then this is the message then to the employee. So it might be, hi, first name, please find a copy of your essential worker letter. Please have a copy of this on you as you go to and from work each day, and present to any authorities when requested. Okay, requested, and you're just going to put, you know, kind regards, whatever that needs to be. Okay, so include the merged document as a view-only document or a PDF. So we won't only want to show the employees the PDF, and we don't need to. So then, what we also can do is to make it so that this runs automatically. We want to run Autocrat when a new form is submitted. Okay, so and the destination folder of your merged documents is, we want to add the folder. So I've already got one here to essential worker. So not only is it going to put a copy of that document in that folder, it's also going to send a copy to the employee as well. Okay, so that's all we need to do, and then we hit save there. And that will do its thing. Wait a couple of moments. Okay. So now that I've got that, now that I jump back to the form, I can actually hit send, and I get this. I can send it by email if you kind of want to go and send it by individual emails. It depends on how you're actually going to do that. But what I would actually be doing is just sending a link. So we can shorten the URL to make it nice and easy, and then copy that. And then I would go to either your internal chat tool or into your CRM or whatever you do. You know, maybe it's a text tool that you send messages out to your whole team, and then you send that out to them. Okay. And so if I actually put that up in a new window now, put that in there. So here's the form. So we're going to, let's fill this out today. So it's then Marty Callan, in here. I'm going to pick a date of birth back here somewhere. in July. Let's pick a random date back in the 80s. We're going to put in my date of birth, my driver's license in there. I'm going to put in my employment status, and I'm going to put in my email address. Okay. And then I hit submit. Now, as I do that, if we have a look on here, it's instantly created this email. Okay. If we then go and have a look in the Google Drive, this letterhead has been created in the Google Drive as well. So here we go. Hi, Marty. This is the date being today. Obviously, I didn't fill these out, but this letter is to confirm that our staff member, Marty Callan, date of birth, driver's license number, is a current part-time employee at our company. Okay, so that's generated that. But what is cool is rather than you then having to send that to all your employees, they will have received that. So if I actually jump across into one of our support channels that gets the support email addresses sent through to them, I'm going to open this up here, and here you go. You can see that there's the email that's come through to our support desk there. And if I click on that letterhead, there it is. I'm going to download that, open that up, and there's my letterhead for the employee. So that's a really neat way to send this out. Now, there's a few steps there, but literally in the matter of 13 minutes, I've kind of created that in there for you. And as long as I can send that initial link to that form out to my entire workforce, then that's great. You might even be a bit more savvy and want to embed the form somewhere inside your website and direct all your team to that particular location. There's multiple ways how you can send that. But essentially, once you've done that, then all those workers will have a PDF document that they can use to prove that they are an employee inside your business. So I hope that helps. I thought it was actually pretty cool. I didn't think it may necessarily work, but when I ran it through, it did. And just thought, you may actually start thinking about, well, what else can I do this for if I need to generate letters or things to people at mass? You can actually do that inside the G Suite service there as well. All right, thanks. Bye.